Welcome to How to Make a Protest Poster. Coming to you live, at least when this is recorded, from picturesque Austin, Texas, where we have more protests than most cities. I recommend what is colloquially known as hot dog as opposed to hamburger orientation. This provides a more rigid structuring grip against the wind. Also, it allows for more words before your reader's eyes have to reset and move down a line. Don't worry, these are just vitamins. Once you have your clever statement or your short, pithy statement finalized, go ahead and figure out which words best remain together when being read. Here we have a sentence concerning a protest against the fake media and the Obama administration's attempt to take my semi-automatic guns from me. Here we have the sentence, unarmed population, hyphen, like shooting fish in a barrel. Once you have that, your statement, go ahead. I know that I like the phrase unarmed population. That's kind of good that they stay together. So that's going to actually be my longest phrase or longest composition of words, and it's 18 characters long, including space. So I went ahead and put in what I thought would work, orientation of the words. Here you can see that I could fit the word fish after shooting and have room to fit perfectly unarmed population. However, it might be more advantageous if I can keep the phrase fish in a barrel. Yeah, so that's what you want to do. We know this 18 characters long, so what you do now is you measure, from one end. Well, actually, you want to have a 1-inch margin. So but we'll get to that in a second. Anyway, so you measure this whole thing. This turned out to be 28 inches long. This rectangle represents our poster. We know it's 28 inches long. That little squiggly line is my attempt to make one of those cute curly brackets. It's always hard to do this. Anyways, so with 1-inch margin, we do that for two reasons. One, for in case there's any error in our calculations where we can slip space in for a letter, a character. The second reason is for our fingers, so we can put our fingers there and it won't interrupt the reading of the message. So here we have the 26 inches. We determined that because we're taking off the 1-inch margins here. And we've already pre-planned that our longest phrase is 18 letters or 18 characters long. So that's the longest that we're ever going to need. It's not going to go over that. We've already measured each word, and we know how long they're all going to be. So therefore, the math of this is 26 inches divided by 18. That rounds out to about 1 inch and roughly 2/5 an inch. On your ruler, that's going to be, let's see, 2/5 is less than a half. So roughly in this area, you could figure out what it would be, probably right around here. Either way, just find a nice even area, and something that works for a basic understanding of what you end up with. And that is right. I think I did like one little hash mark past before I got to the halfway point. Now what we do is we plot out our little point here, and we go through the whole length of the poster doing just that. And this is our basic unit. This is going to serve as, I didn't discuss the vertical margin, but you want to leave something, acceptable. But this represents the top of, you don't have to draw it, but this is going to represent a box. And basically each character is roughly square here. So that's what basically I'm doing. I'm not going to be drawing all of this, but I will be plotting out the breadth. Let me just continue. I'm just going to do this quick. This isn't my actual poster. This is just scrap paper here, so I'm not being exact. But we'll come across this whole thing. I'm just going to freehand it. And you should, if you do your math right, you should come up with 18 of these gaps, which are going to serve for the area of your letter. One thing to note is, again, this is kind of a rough deal. Like, for example, this is the letter A would fit in there. However, B, you're going to have this stem coming out. So you got to make room for that, which I didn't. Another thing to look out for is you have some letters which are small, thin, such as I. You have this whole gap area. That's going to kind of mess up the idea, but basically outline this in pencil, which I'll show you, and you can erase it and adjust as you need to. Here is the square for this eye. As you can see, we went like a third left, so it's biased more towards the left here. Biased towards the left, like a Freudian slip. Okay. What else? The margin, or this distance here, I kind of measured out between those. I think it's all finished up. That's what it looks like. You can barely read it, but there's going to be a couple other factors included. One is we're going to try to make it more bold, in which case some of these places, such as on barrel, these R's aren't going to bolden up very good because they're already almost touching. So little things like that, they're going to be changed as you put the marker into it. So with time, you'll get better at figuring out and planning ahead. Okay, here is the retracing with the marker. I didn't take the time to correct things that I could have. I kind of regret that. However, this is what we're looking at. It's actually kind of unique looking. I like that unarmed. It kind of has emphasis to it, or italicization. Anyways, here we go. This is what it looks like. Next, we were going to make it bolder. The bolder it is, the more easy it is for people to read it. The second to the last tip I'm going to give you is roll your poster with the letters outward. If you roll it with the letters inward, you're going to have the curvature of the poster wanting to bend in, and it's not very expedient as far as when you get out to where you are. This is naturally going to curve out and present itself in case you do decide to roll it up. The last tip is
get yourself a good video camera and some recording equipment, so you don't find yourself without any evidence in case law enforcement, security guards, whatever, opposition protesters do something against you. Yeah, so prep up. Oh, this piece of rope, if anyone's wondering, this is it's completely off topic. This is what they call a trucker's hitch knot, also called a haymaker knot. It's sought after for its high cranking power.